the ambassadors have played a pivotal role in that, obviously. There's many other people in the organization at all levels that work on that, but definitely the pivotal role in recruiting new members, student members, and also increasing the awareness of CalCPA on campuses and planning and holding events for students to attend. As we enter the second year of the program, we will have 28 campus ambassadors in place on 28 campuses around the state. Pretty cool. Our CalCPA Institute staff person managing this project and responsible for its success and growth is Melissa Thornton. As a student outreach / PR coordinator, was her position for the past couple of years, Melissa has been responsible also for not only developing this program and managing it, but responsible for overseeing financial literacy in our organization, and also has become quite the expert in 150-hour education requirement and making the rounds around the state to schools, student groups, and firms in helping to interpret and understand that process. So we've kept her a little busy. She's been recently promoted to Strategic Relations Manager, and this is going to allow a wider scope of possibilities for her good work in establishing and building strategic relations for CalCPA Institute. Melissa's going to introduce to you 3 of our experienced campus ambassadors who are going to give us some insight into that work that's been done and their particular experience.
Hi, everybody. So as John said, we were at 12 campuses last year. We're at 28 campuses this year, and hopefully lots of you met some of the 20 ambassadors who joined us yesterday for CPA Day at the Capitol. So there's a banner group. They had their orientation. They also took legislative appointments, so maybe some of them joined you on your rounds about the Capitol. And we certainly hope that they did, because they have really great insights. They teach me new things all the time about what is cool and exciting about accounting on their campuses, and what I should know are the best giveaways to get students in a place. They got pizza cutters yesterday, and you would have thought that I, put a gold Chinese star on myself, because they were really excited about those. So I'm going to let our campus ambassadors introduce themselves to you, because they kind of know their plans better than anybody else. And so we have 3 who are going to answer some questions and give you insights into the Campus Ambassador program this year.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Mendoza, and I represented Cal State San Bernardino. I just graduated, and I'm doing an internship at a public accounting firm in Riverside, and I'll be sitting for my first test in April.
Hi everyone, my name is Evan Kilborn. I represented Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I'm currently a graduate student in the Master's in Financial Accounting, and I just sat for my last part of the CPA 2 weeks ago, so I hope never to step foot in the program.
And my name is Kate McAndrew, and I also go to Cal State San Bernardino. I'm the next ambassador, so I'm starting right now, and I should be graduating in December.
So first, I'd love to hear from Alexandra and Evan about what your experience was. What was your favorite thing that you did on campus during your year as ambassador leader?
I think my favorite part of being an ambassador was getting to know other students, what they want from CalCPA. So I really enjoyed networking with the students on campus, going to their classes, and giving them pamphlets, which I have an example. I would staple my business card and a little note to them saying to join CalCPA. So it worked out pretty good. So I really like that.
For those of you who don't know, Alexandra didn't just stop at Cal State San Bernardino. She took on all of the Inland Empire chapter, and she was at a multitude of schools getting the message out about CalCPA. So she really said, if I'm the only one representing you guys here and I'm the first ambassador, I'm going to make my mark. So they actually had more liaisons attending their board meetings, recruiting students, and they were all actually answering to her. So that's pretty impressive.
I'd say my favorite part about the program was, since I was a senior at the time, it was nice to impart some wisdom on some younger people who were thinking about getting into accounting and what they could do in order to further their careers. And that was, I mean, I'm sure it's very nice for all of you to do the same to us. So it was very nice for me to do that and give back a little bit to all the accounting students.
Well, as a follow-up, obviously, Kate has her position now because part of what Alex was doing, so I'd love to hear what your experience was, what kind of intrigued you from the CalCPA campus ambassador who was at Cal State San Bernardino last year.
I think Alex giving like a face to the organization, not just it being like pamphlets being passed around, made it more like accessible, and she kind of encouraged me to get involved.
So the next thing that I wanted to ask you is, are there groups on your campuses that you really reached out to or that the professional members should be targeting to get involved with if they don't necessarily have a campus ambassador, who they could reach out to really access students in a more effective way?
Well, at Cal State San Bernardino, we have Beta Alpha Psi and the Accounting Association, and they support CalCPA and all their events and the campus ambassador. So I think those two organizations were at the top for CalCPA. But there's also like the Career Center and the Internship Office, where for each major has its own organizations to join. So I think having students join CalCPA when they get their first internship is also like a great idea to get students more involved. A lot of sophomores and juniors are getting internships already, so it should be a must that CalCPA has to be on their resume.
So did you hear that, all of you guys who are hiring people? It's a must on the resume, and perhaps in your HR packets, including those applications if the interns haven't joined yet for some reason.
Yeah, just to go off that a little bit, definitely the Accounting Society. I know that at Cal Poly, CPAC, the Cal Poly Accounting Club, is pretty tightly knit with CalCPA, the Central Coast chapter, and they do coordinate some events. I would recommend almost making it a little bit closer, just in the fact of having maybe the ambassador on part of the board for CPAC. I think that would be a great way to actually penetrate everyone who's interested in accounting and who wants to go down that career path.
So I know for some of you are thinking of new, fresh ideas to add, students to your board perhaps might be an interesting liaison to hear once in a while what they're thinking. And for some of you, I think Fresno and Inland Empire, you've already had them visit. And Kate actually was telling me that she and Alexandra both visited, and I'd love for her to tell you about her experience, what that offered her by getting to visit a board meeting with the local chapter.
I was telling Melissa that going to the board meeting kind of made it a step above researching the website and going to the events to see what's going on behind the scenes. You kind of like understand better the objectives and what's really going on with the organization. It's easier to represent something you understand from like that side also.
So I've heard a couple comments that perhaps things might be, reports might seem a little dry to a student, or that you guys wouldn't necessarily have your interest captivated. Would you say that that is or isn't true for your experience?
I think when you don't really understand exactly what's going on just because you're not part of it, you're not a professional, it's hard to get excited by it. But it helps helps you to, I still enjoy coming and like listening because it helps me to understand really what's going on, what the purpose is.
Even with a little bit of, maybe an extra Coke or something, caffeine for you to keep you awake, it was really helpful for you guys to attend those meetings. What I'd like to hear from our two previous ambassadors is what they learned from their experience.
What I learned is that it's really important to get involved when really you're early on career in college. I came across a lot of students who had just 1 quarter left and they wanted to join CalCPA, and it's perfectly fine, but I think the best way is to start early on, and I think it's really important. That's what I learned as a campus ambassador.
So I think I learned just how difficult it is to kind of sell something to people. I know we're in the profession of selling services to people, and in a sense this is what we were doing to the students. And really it was, sometimes it's hard to get across to a sophomore or junior who, yeah, they're doing accounting, but they're kind of whatever about it, to sign up for this. Even though it's free, even though it'll be a great resume builder, they still just aren't looking that far ahead to what benefits it can bring them. So that was definitely one of the biggest challenges for me.
So I think we've got, they've got some extra business development experience through the program. They're learning to do those salesmanship things. And I'm curious, since Kate is a new ambassador, what are your goals for the program? What is for yourself going forward?
I think like how both of them said, getting the younger students involved, because on our campus, it's a lot of the outgoing, like the seniors that get involved, and it doesn't really leave much of a legacy for the younger students. So that would be for me to get you involved earlier.
All right. I'd like to hear one final thing from our experienced ambassadors, and that is, how will being a campus ambassador help you in your future pursuits going forward, since we have two graduates or almost graduate from a master's degree program? Let's hear how it's going to impact you going forward.
I think it has impacted me already. I've met a lot of really amazing people that are now my mentors, and they help me a lot, like that advice, what should I do, some situations throughout my career, and it's going to take me far. I know who to go, and if I ever need to just keep moving up, I know who to contact.
Yeah, kind of on the same note, the network it provides to us is really invaluable. And I've already met a bunch of great people, even in the past 24 hours, that I know are, they're willing to help. Everyone's willing to help each other in here, which is nice. I'd say that's the greatest thing I've taken away from this.
So I'd like to thank you guys all for giving us some of your afternoon. They have traveled far and wide to be here with you and took time out of busy class schedules. These are some faces. Hopefully you'll go up and say hello to them. If you didn't have a chance to meet the ambassador from your chapter yesterday, please, they're all on calcpa.org/campus ambassadors. They even have pretty pictures so that you can make sure that when you meet them, you can spot them from across the room. And it has a little name underneath, so there's no chance you'll confuse your ambassador with somebody else. So please go reach out to them, because one of the big things I learned managing the program is that they love speaking with you guys as professionals. They want to get to know you. They really want to reach out to you. So if you guys extend a hand, they will happily get to know you, and hopefully this will be a great program that you'll get to hear lots more from in the years to come.
I want to ask a question, and perhaps others might as well, but when you heard about when you started to look at this possibility of being an ambassador, did you know about CalCPA before? And that's one, and the other question would be, are you seeing that visibility growing on campuses?
I was already a member before I knew about the Campus Ambassador program. I joined when I was a junior in college, and then it came about after that, like maybe a few months or within a year after that. What was the other question?
If the presence of CalCPA is getting a little better known on campuses, I mean, can you see that needle kind of moving where people are understanding?
I can start to see it now. I mean, I think definitely we need to keep pushing for more and more and more involvement. I mean, as much as you guys can afford to bring to the campus is as much as we can give back to. So I know, especially in the Cal Poly Accounting Club, pretty much if you're in the Cal Poly Accounting Club and you're a pretty well-established member, you're part of CalCPA as well. So on that aspect, yes.
Okay.
I heard about the Campus Ambassador program through my professor, so I wasn't a CalCPA member that time, so I joined, and I think the visibility at San Bernardino has grown. A lot of students know my name, and sometimes I don't know their name, but I say hi, and I'll get emails saying when's the next CalCPA event. So it's been growing, and I know Kate will keep that going as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, before Alex was the campus ambassador, I hadn't heard anything about CalCPA, and then she was coming around talking about it, and now I know all about it. So I definitely think it helped.
Recruitment in action right here. Do we have any other audience questions?
What expectations did you have before you became ambassadors?
Like, I think from
To get a job?
honestly, like what I really wanted out of it was to get out of my comfort zone. I was always in my little like box, and I wanted to push myself to get out there and meet people. So I think I've accomplished that, and I've met a lot of great professionals and students. So that was my main motivation, to just get more involved.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I chose accounting, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to do whatever I can to make the best out of the path that I'm choosing for myself. So, and I saw CalCPA as a way to sort of grow that professional drive for me. So,
Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm John Lacey. I teach at Cal State Long Beach, so I deal with you folks all the time. We have representatives from the different CPA review courses, and I just, has there been any confusion? And these folks are trying to sell a course as opposed to really just getting people involved with other professionals. I think was there any confusion about that relationship that you saw?
not that I saw. I mean, we have the same, like the Roger and Becker reps on campus, but the CalCPA, I think, was distinguished in that it's a separate organization and not a review course. I didn't see any confusion on CalPoly.
I was a Roger rep on campus as well as CalCPA, and I really didn't see that confusion. I always was clear when I was doing my CalCPA part and when I was doing Roger. I don't know if Kate ever got some confusion about Roger and Becker.
We have people coming to try to sell our kids things, and I just want to be sure that they're clear that we're not trying to sell them something, rather get them to join our club, if you will. And I think I would love to see us have the young emerging professionals just be the bridge to the university. It would be great if some of our young emerging professional members would go to the banquets at your university and promote CalCPA. And I'm hoping at our campus, I'm having our data office and accounting society people go to some of the young emerging professional get-togethers while they're still in school. My thought is, we all make friendships in school, but then as we graduate and go to work at different firms, we lose those relationships. And CalCPA can be that glue that keeps people together. So instead of going to a meeting for data office at the university, they go to a CalCPA meeting and see the same friends that they have in school. Moreover, the people who are the presidents of data office, the vice presidents, would be the logical leaders for our organization later, because they have those skills already. So I think this is a great idea, and I'll be happy to help you anyway.
Just really quick, right, that CalCPA is the glue. Here's the glue between us, because we met at Great Alpha Psi. Now that I graduated, she's still in school. CalCPA is keeping us together.
Hello, I'm Noah Austin from the Sacramento chapter, and I was curious, you're selling our membership, are you selling our scholarships as well when you're out there being ambassadors? Are you guys talking about scholarships to company students?
Yes, we have a scholarship at the IE, and I really encourage the scholarship, and we had several students apply, so I'm always checking what's out there from our chapter that students can apply to.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I use the scholarships as a talking point, but I think for Cal Poly, since they are pretty closely tied together, I know CalCPA gives scholarships at the end of the year at what's called Spring Banquet. So I think, is that the main source for the scholarships? Yeah, so that was kind of coinciding with the accounting club as well, so there wasn't much separation between the two. So.
Yeah, for just to sort of answer your question, because each chapter's scholarship plan is a little bit different, it sort of depends on what the scholarship application process is. I know for some chapters it's very educator-driven, other chapters they have a full application process where they need people to, educators maybe email their students, but you also need that reminder in your Beta Alpha Psi or student anxiety meeting. So usually if it is that more application-driven process, that is part of their responsibility.
Okay, so you guys are kind of giving the materials for each one of your chapters and then you become an ambassador.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You guys look great.
Well, if that's it, please join me in a round of applause for them. We've got some really good looking representation on campuses. And yeah, yesterday the same thing. They were very professionally dressed, representative crowd for you. They were mingling with those professionals. We wouldn't have had a sore thumb anywhere in the group, so that is something we love to see. Thank you all very much for giving us